Hello and welcome to the resumption of Season 3 of the Garage Rock Podcast. My name is Steve and joining me once again, as always, it's Mr. Cameron Banfield. How you doing, mate?
Hey, Spennigan! What the hell does resumption mean?
Well, you know, to resume, it's the assumption that you're resuming, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but
I think you're just resumpting that.
Possibly. How you doing, man? It's been a while. It's been about 6 weeks or something like that.
I know, it's crazy, and we thought that we'd be getting back together by now, or
Yes.
close to now, but it's not happening. So here we
worse.
are, social distancing podcast, and it's worse.
Yes.
I know.
Well, for those of you interstate listeners or overseas listeners, we are here in Melbourne. We're not allowed outside a 5 kilometre radius.
No, and it's curfew. It's now, we're not allowed out
No, that's it.
for any reason after 8 o'clock at night
Yep.
till 5 a.m. in the morning. So it's tough, Steve. It's weird, isn't it? What the fuck's going on? What did you do? You've been
Hey.
spreading it, you dirty, dirty minx. It was you, wasn't it?
Hey, I'm not a spreader. I'm in Brighton with the Karens now. I moved house.
Oh, Steve is, have a look at this. Turn your nose up at me because you live in Brighton.
I moved just before the everything became worse and the lockdowns got harsher. I moved to East Brighton, and the thing is, I don't know anyone within a 5 kilometre radius, so I am literally just sitting on my own. Might go to Coles. The only person who's been in my house is the bloke to connect my internet. That's about it. I haven't seen anyone.
How is he?
Oh, I couldn't tell. He had a fucking mask on. He knocked on my door and I was like, oh, g'day, mate. And he's just like, could you please put a mask on? I'm like, it's my fucking... Okay. So I put a mask on so you can come in.
Steve, you're an anti-masker, aren't you?
I definitely am
You
not.
went down to Coles and didn't wear your mask and yelling out, "You're all sheeple!"
Hang on. I did walk towards the Coles and then realised I didn't have my mask, had to do a U-turn, walk back to the car, put a mask on and then go inside. I did feel like a moron, but I'm not like the rest of the Karens in the area. There are plenty of Karens though.
Have you
Trust me.
met Karen yet? When you're out walking, bro?
There's no sort of one Karen, is it? It's more of a gaggle of Karens, isn't there?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. A gaggle.
A gaggle.
Or in your case, a gargle.
I have not gargled any Karens since moving to East Brighton. But there's a lot of the anti-maskers here. There's a lot of just stupid shit. Actually, I was reading the other day, this because I know we've talked about on the show baby names many a time. There are people who are naming their babies COVID.
Oh, I've heard of this. What an out... Why, Steve? Why?
That would be one of the stupidest things ever. Like, naming your kid after a disaster. That'd be like having a kid in the 1940s and calling it Adolf. Like, now is not the time, and it's probably never the time. So I just don't get it.
Having said that, Steve, when I did work at a timber yard,
Yes.
we used to have to write out on dockets what people were getting, what timber they were getting, and then take that to the counter and go pay, and you'd have to ask if they were paying cash or was it on an account. And one day this bloke said, it's on an account. I said, okay, what's the account name? And he said, it's Adolf Hitler.
Adolf Hitler.
And I laughed, and he looked at me. He was dead serious, Steve.
Sorry.
This cunt's name was Adolf Hitler.
You are kidding. That is definitely not true.
I went and checked, after he'd left to see, is this guy having a lend to me? They're like, nah, see, here's his account, Adolf Hitler. Like, what cruel parents.
That must have been one hell of a childbirth. If you're naming your kid Adolf when your surname is Hitler. Oh, bloody hell. But, what have you been up to? The world is fucked, but what's Mr. Banfield been up to in the past few weeks whilst we've been away?
Gee, I did have a nice weekend away to the backyard. That was good.
Lovely. I hear it's good this time of year.
Oh, it's great. Hey, you know what I've been enjoying? I've been doing with a couple of my old band buddies.
Yep.
I don't drink that much these days, Steve, because I've found inner peace and don't need to numb all the time. But,
what have you got in your hand right now?
Water.
It's very red water.
I don't drink to get fucked up. No, but anyway, we've all found a bit of a new love for craft beer. So
Oh, right.
pretty much every weekend we all get 6 or so different craft beers, and on our group chat, we take a photo of them and give them a rating out of 10. So that's
cool.
It's been awesome fun. We've found some really good beers, some not so much, and some really strong ones. And I'm normally sitting down watching a live stream, which I'm still loving.
Brilliant.
Been watching Tim and Lisa every
Friday
night. Tim from Tim Smythe and Holy Trash.
Yep.
So I've really been enjoying that. But also, Steve,
good.
you know how I'm a massive fan
of The Masked Singer.
Mate, don't get me started on that. The kids are back on that dribble.
But have you found out who Prawn is yet?
Oh no, there's no prawn this year. It's all like, can't remember, fish and
chips,
chips and fucking. Steve, that show's just an insult to intelligence. So we'll just leave it at that. But hey, I really want to know who Goldfish was. But I'll watch the rerun tonight.
Sorry to keep you. Oh, yes, I can see. No, our listeners can't see, but Jim Carrey book. Jim Carrey and Dana Vachon have written a book called Memoirs and Misinformation, which I happen to receive. Yes.
My signed copy in the mail because I joined a live stream interview with Jim and Dana, who both wrote the book together, and it's basically a fucking really weird book, Steve. But I loved it
because Jim Carrey.
Exactly. I wouldn't expect anything less. So it's not your normal memoir. It's little snippets of his life, and you got to try and decipher what's real. Well, this is how it's explained. This is the blurb, okay?
Yep.
None of this is real, and all of it is true.
Well, I mean,
that's it.
Makes complete sense.
So, yeah, I'm really intrigued. That's why I love autobiographies, because I'm intrigued how people do where they came from, how they did it. And this is just a really weird way of doing it, but I loved it. And, Steve, I did a tweet about it, which I don't tweet often.
No, you don't.
Tweet. Did a tweet, and guess who shared it?
I don't know, Cam, who?
Oh, not only Dana Vachon, the author, but also Judd Apatow.
Oh, Judd Apatow. That's pretty cool.
I'm like, what the fuck? There's like 35,000 people have seen my tweet. I'm like, it's not that special, surely. And then I realised, Judd Apatow shared my tweet.
That's awesome.
So I'm basically a Twitter sensation now, Steve.
Yes, that's it.
If you would like my autograph, I'll give it to you.
Cool.
But yeah, Steve, that's basically it. Been reading and hanging out, playing Nintendo, watching TV in colour.
Oh, fantastic.
There's nothing really exciting to report, is there?
No, there isn't. In fact, putting together a rundown has been pretty bare.
I know, imagine having a music podcast when there's literally fucking no music happening anywhere in the world.
Pretty much.
Sort of.
Well, I mean, there was a festival in South Dakota we'll have a chat about a little bit later on.
And Steve, how's the vinyl collection going?
Vinyl collection is going well. I've completed my top 10 albums.
Oh, that's brilliant. I've got to do something like that. See, you're so structured in your brain, and I'm like, there's a vinyl, I'll get that one. I should do my top 10. I don't even know what my top 10 are. They always change.
Yeah, so. I know. It's very hard to sort of just keep it to that, but I'm very anal. But I've also pre-ordered
Karen and her meaty bites.
I've pre-ordered the Odyssey No. 5 20th anniversary vinyl.
Oh, a bit of the old powder. What about Powderfinger and Paul Dempsey?
Yes.
I forgot to mention that.
Bernie Fanny.
Bernie Fanny, and they did Under Pressure, two legends covering two legends.
Yeah,
how awesome is that?
How good were the vocals on that?
If you haven't checked it out, check out Bernard Fanning, Paul Dempsey doing Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie.
Yep.
It's awesome. Jeez, they do it justice, don't they, Steve?
More than, yeah, definitely.
See, another good thing. See, there is music happening. There is
music. Actually, one of with the bonus vinyl on the Odyssey No. 5, there's a cover of Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast by Powderfinger.
Really?
Yes, which I'm interested in hearing.
Are you much of a fan of Iron Maiden at all, Steve?
No, but I mean, I'm interested to hear it. I'm just interested. But Cam, we do have to talk about something that we did get up to whilst we were off the air, and that was the Garage Rock Podcast American Open.
Oh, mate. thank you so much for everyone that voted.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, everyone.
And wrote in as well. Like, everyone got really into it, and people were speaking to us about it, and we're really following it day by day, and it's something to look forward to every day. I know I did, looking forward to do my votes and seeing who got through and who got knocked out.
There were a few upsets along the way. There were a few bands that I didn't expect to get as far as they did. Limp Bizkit actually got really far, which I wasn't anticipating.
Got further than you thought, Steve?
They did get further than I thought. There were a few bands that were knocked out early as well. Like Korn were knocked out in the first round as well to Talking Heads. Like, I don't know. I didn't realise we had such a Talking Heads fan base. And actually, R.E.M. got through 2 rounds by less than 1% each time.
That is...
Back-to-back rounds.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for those that didn't know anything about this, I dare say we might be doing another one again at some stage in our lives, Steve, but we won't give away too much. But there were 128 battles, and we had a Dave Grohl final, Steve, which was really exciting.
Yep.
Between Foo Fighters and Nirvana. And who won, Steve? Drum roll if you don't mother flipping know.
Well, did we get Dave Grohl to do the drum roll? Foo Fighters beat Nirvana 53% to 47%. And our third place playoff, Cam, which was Green Day against Metallica.
Yes, and Green Day won, which I'm very happy about, because if I had to choose, Steve, I'm so glad Metallica got knocked out.
Really?
And, yeah. They lost me at St. Anger and some kind of monster.
Yeah?
Yeah, they lost me there.
Yeah,
no, but I appreciate their one-hit wonders, but...
We'll get on to one-hit wonders a little later, but yeah.
But Green Day smashed it out the park, Steve, 61% to Metallica's 39%. So, well done, Green Day. Like, if I had to choose out of all those bands, Green Day would probably be my favourite.
Yep.
But I would have been happy with either Nirvana or Foo Fighters to take the cake, but... Fooey's coming through.
It was back to, like, I remember looking at, like, 8 o'clock at night, so, like, only 4 hours to go to vote, and it was deadlocked, Foo Fighters and Nirvana. Like, it was like...
50-50.
It was shifting 1% either way all day, and then, Foo Fighters ended up having a little bit of a late surge and getting over the line, but that was really cool. Now, we will be doing an English Open at some point in the future. So that's the next one. So probably in the next couple of months, we'll be doing the English one. We did, of course, do the Australian one a few months ago, which Powderfinger beat Silverchair in the final.
Yep.
And I don't know. I mean, if we do like an Australian and then an American and then an English and then maybe a rest of the world one, we might do a World Cup. I don't know. I mean, I'm just spewing stuff now, but I mean, hey, that sounds like fun to me.
Put it out there, Steve. Why not? You put it out in the universe, you see what comes back.
It's not like I've got anything else to fucking do right now.
And either does anyone else.
No, so we may as well distract ourselves with a little bit of friendly competition.
That's it. Get your COVID clustered fingers ready to go when you're ready to vote. Speaking of COVID cluster, Steve.
Cluster fuck more like it. What's going on, Cam?
Hey, man. You're an all-star. Get your game on. Smash Mouth. Say, fuck that COVID shit.
Yes.
Can you believe it, Steve? One of the most iconic bands of all time that somehow didn't make it to Garage Rock Podcast American Open, but it's tough to put it down 128 artists, Steve.
Exactly.
Believe it.
Yeah,
it's very tough.
And we're talking about Smash Mouth.
Exactly. The kids who like Shrek might have voted. Who knows?
True. Smash
Mouth played a set at Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in Buffalo Chip, South Dakota.
Yeah.
They played in front of thousands of people despite the current coronavirus crisis that's gripped the world, Steve. Obviously, if you haven't been seeing that, then you've been living under a fucking dick. With the lead singer, Steve Harwell, telling the crowd, fuck that COVID shit. Now, that is just... Steve.
I'd never.
The festival also featured acts including Quiet Riot, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Molly Hatchet, and guests of Garage Rock Podcast, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Buck Cherry, and Trapped.
Yeah.
Now, some artists did actually come to their senses, Steve, as I would think, in my opinion.
Of course.
That's my opinion. They pulled out. So Willie Nelson pulled out.
Willie pulled out. Willie
pulled out. ZZ Top and Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yep.
Probably because they're a bit older and they're at higher risk, I guess, Steve.
Oh, makes sense to me. Now, this probably isn't as bad as Vanilla Ice wanting to hold a concert on the 4th of July in Texas. Now, Texas, of course, being a state which currently has over 500,000 confirmed cases and over 10,000 deaths. But Vanilla Ice did point out we didn't have coronavirus in the 90s, which is a compelling argument. Now, the show was subsequently cancelled, but he was pushing hard for it. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, they also didn't have polio in the 90s either.
That's so fucking stupid. That's like an apprentice at work come up to me and said, you know, one day when I'm eventually a baby boomer, I'll be doing blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you are never going to be a baby boomer. You don't understand what you're fucking saying, you dumb cunt. So either there's Vanilla Ice.
No, you're getting... No, come on. Vanilla Ice must have surely some idea. He's Ice Baby.
Yeah, and he actually has to pay people for those royalties for that song.
Exactly. That he definitely wrote. But what are our thoughts about, you know, Smash Mouth playing a show in Hicksville, South Dakota? I mean, this is pretty dangerous.
That's pretty dangerous, Steve. I mean, they're already stuffed over there, and you know, you look at our numbers, and we're doing everything we can here in Melbourne to try and keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
The last thing we're doing is holding concerts, isn't it?
Well, I mean, unless that concert's within 5 kilometres of your house and it's before 8 o'clock. And even then, it's still not happening.
Yeah.
We've had 300 deaths in Victoria, which is, you know, it's a massive shame. And over there, I mean, we're talking about just Texas have had over 10,000 deaths. And then people want to go out and have concerts. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they've too far gone. But, yeah. I mean, it is relative to population as well.
Of course.
Australia's a lot smaller. And, I mean, you look at New Zealand, they shut down for 4 weeks at the start and got rid of it, and now they're getting a bit of a cluster happening again, Steve. So What do you do?
What do you do? I tell you what, you go to the movies. That's what you do. Well, you can't go to the movies, but I'm trying to segue into the next part.
Steve, I would fucking kill to go to the movies, wouldn't you?
I tell you, I want to see the Bond film that came out, was supposed to come out months ago, but didn't come out.
There's a new Bond film?
Yeah.
Oh, there will be.
Well, there was supposed to be. It was supposed to come out in May, I think, and then it's been pushed to November, and then it'll probably get pushed out further again.
Well, they've pushed out Ghostbusters, I know that.
Oh, really? Yeah. With Paul Rudd.
Yeah, and original cast.
Yeah.
Apart from Egon, because he's dead.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, maybe he'll appear as a ghost.
Fingers crossed.
Anyway, Muse have announced a companion film to their 2018 album Simulation Theory. Now, I wasn't a massive fan of the album at first, and there are still a few tracks I find a bit questionable, but I've grown to enjoy it a bit more than I originally did. Now, this movie is part concert film and part narrative about a team of scientists who investigate the source of a paranormal anomaly appearing around the world. Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Now, the concert portion of the movie was filmed in London's O2 Arena in September last year. What are our thoughts about this? I mean, it comes out on August 21st on digital platforms. Now, half concert, half movie. I saw the Metallica, it was called Through the Never, which was 3D, and that was half Metallica concert, and also there was like a narrative aspect of it as well. And I felt it didn't really do much for me. It was kind of trying to do too much.
I know you froth over these kind of things, but see, I haven't been really that into it since Michael Jackson's Moonwalker ruined it for me.
Really?
I mean, that was cool, but
I have not seen Moonwalker, actually.
You haven't seen Moonwalker? That was kind of freaky.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe I just like freaky things. Jim Carrey's book and Michael Jackson's
life. Well, I mean, I think I just prefer just a full concert movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You love that stuff.
Yeah.
We went and saw Muse at in the city. What was that for again?
That was their last concert. That was their last tour. That was at the Rome Stadium, Olympic Stadium.
What album was that for again?
That was off the back of their Second Law album.
Second Law.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, that was just a concert film. And I don't know, sneaking a narrative, so you go half concert, half narrative, I don't know. but we'll see how it turns out. I mean, I'm sure it looks good. The trailer's out and it looks pretty interesting.
It'll be interesting to see, Steve.
But yeah, it's in IMAX theatres around USA and Canada, where COVID is non-existent and they can do whatever they want. But it's not going to be in theatres in Australia, obviously. But it will be out digitally on several platforms on August 21st.
Steve, we're not going to be able to travel for a long time, are we?
No.
I mean, international travel, forget about that for a few years.
Yeah.
But even interstate at the moment.
Well, especially not Victoria.
No, like, we're going to be the ones where no one's going to let us in anywhere.
No, that's true. I mean, what about those guys who were like snuck onto a train? I mean, you know, it's a sad state of affairs when people are trying to sneak into South Australia.
Yeah. You know, they caught a boatload of Australians trying to get into Indonesia.
One of them was Peter Dutton.
Who's that? Steve, guess what?
What, Cam?
It's time for Question of Thy Week.
Yay! Yes, that's right, Cam. It is time for Question of the Week. And would you like to tell us what this week's question is?
Yes. First of all, thanks again, everyone that has written in. Mm-hmm. The family has spoken. The Garage Rock family has spoken again, Steve. Question of the week this week is, what is your favourite one-hit wonder?
Yes, and now I decided to use this question, and I'll tell you the backstory behind this. Do you remember Music Max? Because it's recently folded.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've lost like Channel V and all that. They're all gone.
Yeah, they're all gone bye-byes. Even MTV's still there, but they're sort of split up into mini channels.
Yeah. Do you remember Music Max used to just always have countdowns?
Yeah.
And they always seemed to be the same clips anyway. I was out one day and I happened to see the Music Max was on, and they had top 100 one-hit wonders. I was like, okay, this is, whatever, cool. And the clip that I saw was Kylie Minogue's Can't Get My Head Around You. Now, if you've got like multiple greatest hit albums, I don't think that you could be qualified as a one-hit wonder.
She's far, like, even if you're not a fan or whatever, she's far from a one-hit wonder, Steve.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a fan, but I recognise she's got a few more. And here's another one that I saw. I was at like a KFC or something like that, and it was on in the corner, and I was having my lunch.
Like you.
I know, shut up. I knew that was coming. Anyway, and it was the top 100 grunge artists.
Here we go.
I was like, okay, cool. And it was like down to the top 6 or whatever. So I thought, I'll see it through. So it was like Pearl Jam, and then it was like Soundgarden, and then it was Live, I think, and it was getting down towards the end.
And Steve's sitting there going, it's going to be
Nirvana.
Smells like Teen Spirit.
It's going to be Nirvana.
It's got to be.
So anyway, no Nirvana. Gets to number 1. I'm like, oh, well, here we go. Smells Like Teen Spirit. Nickelback. Now, so
Stephen, I never.
So not only did Nickelback come first, Nirvana weren't even in the top 6. There you go. I don't know what happened there.
That sucks. Hey, do you reckon they paid for that? They're like that healthy heart smart tick on the food that's not healthy, where they've just paid to have it on there. It's like
Nickelback paid to be number 1 in a Music Max countdown.
They are the heart smart rating of the music industry.
And now they're gone. So let's carry on with our question of the week. Do you want to start or shall I?
I'll start.
Cool.
Tara's written in and said, "Steal My Sunshine" by Len. Still my sunshine.
Lying on the grass the Sunday morning of last week. Did you just fart?
No, it's just the beat. I don't know. Ben's written in Never Ending Story by Lamal. I didn't even know who sung that song.
I have no idea who Lamal is.
Of course I know the song, which I do love the New Found Glory version of that song.
Are you sure it wasn't Kamal?
Oh,
I don't know.
Kamal. I played a gig with Kamal once.
What?
In the Gershwin room in St Kilda.
You played a gig with Kamal?
Yeah, well, my band played after Kamal.
After Kamal, right.
St Kilda Festival, yeah.
I remember Kamal played the Big Day Out a couple of times.
Oh, he was huge.
Yeah.
Everyone loved him. He'd do like New York and songs like that, and it would just go off. The funny thing about seeing Kamal backstage is that the bands you normally see backstage, you can 100% relate to and say, good gig, and I love this song or whatever. And then, what do you say to Kamal? You want to go have a Dilmar or something? Like
How did I know?
Good gig, Kamal. Well done.
How did I know Dilmar was going to get a mention?
Oh, yes, please. Ben also said Renegade Fighter by Zed.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, when I did read that comment about Neverending Story, I was trying one of our beers.
Yep.
And it was called Neverending Haze, and it was done in the Neverending Story sort of font.
Right.
So, fun little fact there for you, Steve. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It was beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Millie from Garage Rock, the TV show, has said the first song that came to his mind was Shake It by Metro Station. Shake, shake it, shake it. Oh, I love that song. Whenever my mum made a... God, that sounds like a really bad segue, doesn't it? Whenever my mum made a milkshake for the kids, she'd sing that song. There you go.
There we go.
Fun little fact about the Goose.
Learning a lot about you tonight.
I'm trying to be open. Letting down those walls, Steve.
Yeah.
Letting down those walls.
How are you going to keep your roof up?
No roof. Wind through my hair. Woo! Gary's written in and said he's turning Japanese by the Vapors. I really think so. Amy has said Dream Catch Me by Newton Faulkner. Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. Speaking of Ice Ice Baby, Steve. Come On Eileen, which who hasn't, by Dexy's Midnight Runners. And I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. I'm too sexy for
this shirt.
That's what you said about your old house. I'm too sexy for this house, so I'm going to fucking move to Brighton because you're just too sexy for that old house and just too good, aren't you, Steve? Huh? Hey?
Yeah, definitely. It was at a pub one night, and I was dancing, and they played the Nut Bush, so I did the Nut Bush, and then they played the Macarena, so I did the Macarena, and then they played Come On Eileen, and I was asked to leave. Moving right along.
Oh, yummy.
Yummy.
Adam also said I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar Wookie 85.
Sugar Wookie 85. Hello.
Show me some sugar. Oh. Sugar Wookie 85 hit us up on Instagram and said Solid Rock by Goanna. Michelle said Boom Boom by Paul Lakakis.
Mm-hmm.
Another couple of booms there, and it would have been the Venga Boys.
Yep, true.
Sean said Crush by Jennifer Page and Teenager of the Year by Lotel. Oh, I remembered that. That was a great song.
Yeah. Looking for Ella Brandy.
Yes. Oh, we should play a Frenzal Rom song in that movie too.
The lead singer of Lotel married Pia Miranda from Looking for Ella Brandy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There you go. I've just told you.
Awesome. Lise wrote in and said Echo Beach by Martha and the Muffins.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them live in an intimate setting in Toronto in 1981. Now, what an experience that would be.
Sounds awesome.
See, 1981 and you're still talking about it. Like, how awesome is that?
Exactly. Yeah, we had a few more. Bianca said Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba.
Oh, that reminds me of Year 7, Steve.
Yeah, did you get knocked down a lot?
Oh, but I got up again.
Brenton said, Even When I'm Sleeping by Leonardo's Bride, Mouth by Meryl Bainbridge, I Go Off by Diana Arnade, and One Headlight by The Wallflowers. One Headlight, that's awesome.
I love Leonardo's Bride. Well, that song.
Steve said Together We Are Beautiful by Fern Kinney. Elizabeth said 99 Luftballons by Nina.
Floating in the summer sky.
Lucas said Blue by Eiffel 65.
Nice one.
I'm blue. If I was green, I would die. If I was green, I would die. That's what I was told the lyrics were. I mean, they were clearly not. But anyway.
I always thought it was I'm blue, I believe I will die. I believe I will die.
So dark.
It's true, though, isn't it, Steve?
It is. If you're blue, you've probably stopped breathing. So you probably will die. Kate said Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot and Jump Around by House of Pain.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Shane said Tainted Love by Soft Cell and Take On Me by Aha.
Oh, see, there's two good covers there too. Versions of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tainted Love, Living Ends version's awesome. Mm-hmm. Same with Marilyn Manson.
Yep.
And Take On Me by Real Big Fish.
Yep. Ashley said Macarena, but she didn't say if it was the Lost Del Rio or the Lost Del Mar version. Maybe there were two versions.
No, was there?
There was. It was like, I think Los Del Rio was the one everyone knows, and then there was like another knockoff version. Michael said Groovy's in the Heart by D-Light.
Ah, nice.
And finally, Sarah said, Would I Lie to You by Charles and Eddie, Two Princes by Spin Doctors, Bodies Hit the Floor by Drowning Pool, and Follow Me by Uncle Cracker.
Bodies for sure.
Yes.
Do you remember when we played that in that backyard party?
Yeah.
And we were on the back deck, and it was only a small deck, and there's probably like 40 people jumping out up and down on that deck, and it was just bending.
Yep, and the bodies were hitting the floor.
Oh man, that was so much fun. I did the screaming for that too.
Yeah, you did. I think I played I had a different bass for that song that was like C-tuned. That's how deep it is.
Yeah. It was deep, man.
Very
it was
deep.
Drop C.
So it's now time for our favourite one-hit wonders. Cam, what is your favourite one-hit wonder?
All right, Steve. Now, I hope this counts.
Is it Kylie Minogue?
No. No, my favourite one-hit wonder is by the Oneaters, or later known as
The
The Wonders.
Yeah.
From the movie Do That Thing You Do.
Wow.
How awesome is that song?
Jeez.
And they're one-hit wonders, so I think it technically counts.
Well, true, it does. I mean, it's about a film about being one-hit wonders.
Exactly, so it just fits.
Absolutely. No, I totally get it.
What about you, Steve? What's your favourite one-hit wonder?
It was mentioned earlier, but One Headlight by the Wallflowers.
Me and Cinderella put it all together. Oh, what about that song that goes, is there anyone out there? 'Cause it's getting harder and harder to breathe. Do you think that I could get some sticky?
Oh, Jesus. Fever for the flavour of the coochie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to put that down as an honourable mention, Steve.
Yeah, well, I don't think you can count Maroon 5 as one-hit wonders when they, headline the Super Bowl.
Was that Maroon 5, was it?
That was Maroon 5.
Oh, it's really early Maroon 5.
It was early Maroon 5.
You know what I'm surprised didn't get mentioned?
What, Cam?
Butterfly. Crazy Town.
Come, my lady, come, my lady.
Come, my lady, you're my butterfly. Sugar, baby.
Wonder if her name's Eileen.
Anyway, that was fun.
That was fun,
Question
yeah.
for next week, Steve.
Bring it on, Cam.
Well, this is a good one, Steve.
This could go either way.
This could go either way, so we're going to give it a red hot go. Now,
It's risky.
next episode is officially our 50th episode of our podcast,
Yeah.
our series. It's not including interviews and specials. So basically, the question for next week is, what questions do you have for us?
Us. This time we'll be doing the answering.
Yeah, so literally, you can ask us anything. Personal, musical,
Yeah,
podcastical.
6.5 inches. What? Sorry, what?
Steve's talking about how big his phone screen is.
Yeah, it's a big phone.
So, yeah, ask us anything. We could have a bit of fun with this. So this could be really, really interesting and engaging.
Or we could get no questions at all.
We could get crickets.
We could get crickets, in which case we'll just talk about ourselves.
In which case, we'll ask each other questions then.
Exactly. 6.5 inches. Anyway, hit us up, garagerockpodcast@gmail.com. And also, you can hit us up on our socials. We're on Facebook and we're also on Instagram with the handle @garagerockpodcast. But Cam, if our question of the week's over, it must mean it's time for a new music.
Yes, it's time for new music here on Garage Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, I believe you have the first track of the evening. So please, without further a Jewish character.
But that's what I've been playing for 49 episodes. Our first track for tonight is The Outsider by Brisbane-based singer-songwriter Jack Bratt. Now, this is a cracking tune to kick off new music this week. It's a pretty cool track about trying to fit in when you're an outcast, and the video clip is pretty cool too, which sees a spaceman arriving on Earth and wanting to fit in, but finds love instead. Isn't that just lovely, Cam?
Gorgeous.
Absolutely. Now, I had a chat with Jack a few months ago about his last single, Spades, and he's followed it up nicely with The Outsider. So let's have a little schmeckle of a listen to this. This is The Outsider by Jack Bratt.
Her trepidation won't be denied. She's optimism personified, showing signs of grace and reverence. She's perfection in present tense, waking up to greet the sun, to make my peace with everyone. Is this the best you'll ever be, or just the best you can be? I wanna see what the outsider sees. Yeah, do you believe?
That little schmeckle was The Outsider by Jack.
You can't say
Black.
that. You can't say it. Only we can say that. You people can't say that.
I've turned Jewish just for the jokes, just like it's like the dentist from Seinfeld.
Which then went on to make a lot of meth.
Yeah. Love you, Brian Cranston.
Which is ironic he played a dentist because meth ruins your teeth.
That's just very ironic. Did you know he's had coronavirus?
Brian Cranston, yeah, I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah, he's just got over it.
Hello to Brian if you're listening, which you're not.
Up next, Steve, we've got Suffocating by Subcult. We were contacted on Instagram and told to check out these guys, and you know what? Fucking like their sound, Steve.
Oh, nice.
Not to mention, Subcult are a Frankston band, so we are Frankston born and bred, right?
No. I'm Brighton now.
Oh, you're Brighton, yeah. You wouldn't want to mention that you're from Frankston.
You diminish my cred around here.
Yeah, you got Karen Street cred now.
Oh, absolutely. There is a Karen Street in Brighton as well.
Oh, there is too, isn't there?
Yeah.
Now, Subcult are a band from Frankston, like I said, with pop-infused garage rock sound, and have played on stages with bands such as Ruby Fields, Baker's Eddie, and your boys, Loser. I really do like the sound of this band, Steve, and they do remind me a little bit of early-ish Killing Heidi.
Okay.
And they're like a band I can see playing at like Splendor in the Grass or something like that, and you're just rocking out to them there. So let's check out some Franger Gold, Suffocating by Subcult.
As the day goes on, I remember how much I miss your stupid face. I'm feeling so damn fucking spaced out. I can't realize that we will never figure things out. I keep waiting on your claws. I'm suffocating. Say we'll be okay, maybe not today. We'll be okay eventually. One day we'll be okay, maybe not today. We'll be okay potentially. One day we'll be okay.
That was Suffocating by Subcult. Pretty cool there, Cam. Speaking of bands contacting us on Instagram, the next band are a garage rock four-piece from Lafayette in Louisiana called Camps, and they've released their new single called Fix. Now, this song is really cool. It's got a great grunge sound to it, and you know I love my grunge, Cam.
You do love your grunge.
Absolutely. Also, if you love taking pills, check out the video clip. just throwing it out there as well for you pill poppers out there. Now, these guys are obviously based in the States, but I reckon that they would go off at a live show, probably in South Dakota, where you can just go for live shows anyway. But who knows, they might make it out to Australia at some point. But anyway, check this out now. This is Fix by Camps.
Don't give a damn how you feel, just by the looks of you're through. He doesn't manage pill by pill as they snap him right to you. Give me my fix till I bleed out. Don't make me wait, I just can't wait. Give me my fix till I bleed out. I just can't wait much longer. A lot of torn of the neck
Great one, Steve. That was Fixed by Camps. Up next, Steve, we've got a band named after you, and it's a song called Get Out by the Pinpricks.
No, if it was named after me, because the Soft Pricks.
Yeah, Soft Pricks, sorry. Speaking of bands contacting us on Instagram, we have another band who's contacted us at Garage Rock Podcast.
Awesome, Cam.
And they're from Germany.
Ooh, nice.
And this is their track, Get Out, taken from their EP, Bait. Steve, I have my fingers crossed that these guys make it to Australia one day when we can actually international travel in 2030 or something.
Yep.
It's just that type of band that I go, I really would love to see these guys live. So have a listen, and I think you would think the same. This is Get Out by the Pinpricks.
All the stories you tell me, some part of me, your way was born for me. It's funny that you think she could. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? It's so obvious. Please get out of my yeah, it's time to be someone, to place me, to impress me. There he builds me. It's funny how you think of me. You made up tales, your hope is trying to entertain me. Please get out of my I tell you, a secret look down on maturity does not make you extraordinary. I tell you, a secret look down on maturity does not make you extraordinary.
That was Get Out by the Pinpricks. Our next track, Cam, is Lie to Me by Tired Lion. Now, this is the latest single taken from their upcoming second album, Breakfast for Pathetics, which will be released on November 20 via Due Process and Universal Music. Now, Cam, this is a short, sharp grunge track. I love grunge. I'm a big fan of Tired Lion. I think the band's frontwoman, Sophie Hopes, has a great voice that goes really well with the music, and they're also really awesome live. I really like their debut album, Dumb Days, so I'm looking forward to hearing Breakfast for Pathetics when it's released in November. But right now, let's check out Lie to Me by Tired Lion.
Now you're taking a spit between the glamour and the glib. You're a crier, an awkward, messy liar. Tell the girls how to speak and how you kiss them on their feet. You're a poser, another fucking liar. Lie to me, tell me I'm pretty, tell me I'm skinny, tell me I'm winning. Fuck, lie to me, tell me I'm something, tell me I'm nothing, tell me I'm anything. You wanna be the man, you wanna be the king, you wanna be the expert, you wanna be the one, you wanna be the one that makes you.
That was Lie to Me by Tired Lion. Up next, we've got Mr. Prism by Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, one of my favourite bands.
Favourite
names
breakfast cereals.
ever. Yeah. Mr. Prism is the first release from Perth psych rockers Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. You know what you're going to get with Mr. Prism? It's psychedelic and filled with porn crumpety goodness. Ain't that the truth, Steve?
Couldn't put it better myself, Cam.
Exactly. This song is about lead singer Jack McEwen's insane bout of sickness while on tour earlier this year for Falls Festival. He was originally diagnosed with tonsillitis, been there, done that, bought the T-shirt 1,000,000 times. That's why I got the suckers pulled out. But it turned out he did the Falls Festival with pneumonia
Jeez.
and was pushing through all sorts of meds whilst he was on the road. Now, that's painful.
You're suffering for your art, Cam.
Exactly, yeah. It reminds me of seeing Gyroscope when Dan Sanders had his laryngitis and he was just drinking whiskey to get through it.
Jeez.
That's got to burn. The Psychedelic Porn Crumpets will be playing a number of shows in WA this September. Damn you, WA. Can we go over there for a bit, Steve?
I don't think they'll let us.
No, they won't let us dirty Victorians there. Before supporting Ocean Alley on their national tour in February next year. check out all their socials to find out where to buy tickets. This is Mr. Prism by Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
That was Mr. Prism by Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, and that brings our new music to a close for this week's episode, Cam. Namaste.
Namaste here any longer. Bye. Some great music this week, Steve. You can tell we've been banked up on a few good songs for a while now. So.
Yeah, and also, three of those were artists who hit us up on Instagram. I mean, that's not even a hit up for music playing place. That's more of a look at photos place.
No, but it's great. So if anyone else is out there and want to recommend or send through some songs, it's at Garage Rock Podcast.
And also our email address, garagerockpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's the one. So send it through, and that also brings us to the end of the show, Steve.
Say it ain't so, I will not go.
Turn the lights off.
Carry me home.
Now, after every drawn out word, you have to say now.
But please, follow us on the socials, and don't forget our question for the next episode, which is for you to give us questions for us to answer on our 50th 50 episodes, Cam.
50th. I was really hoping to do a live show for that one,
Yeah,
Steve.
same. So was I. I was hoping to get a banner. We could run through a banner. Congratulations, 50 episodes.
I mean, if the worst thing that's happened to us is that we have to do our podcast over the phone, then we're doing all right, aren't we?
Absolutely, and we'll continue to do it on the phone until we're allowed outside again. But until our next episode, which once again is our 50th episode, I've been Steve.
And I've been Cam on the mobile telephone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.